So in today's video, we have the LC500, Lexus's fancy coupe or convertible in this specific case, rear-wheel drive with a 5-liter V8, and there's some changes in the 2024 model. You got some interior updates. So in today's video, we're gonna talk about the front, the side, the back. I'm gonna take this thing for a drive and show you how fast the top goes up and goes down. Let me know in the comments below if you're interested, and if you haven't subscribed to our channel before, smash that subscribe button. So if you're not familiar with what this car is, this is built on the platform of Lexus's LS cars, which means it's their big body cars, which means this is very similar to a big body Benz. You get it? It's more of a cruiser with some style behind it. It's available as a coupe or a convertible. You can get it with two powertrains, a 5-liter V8 or a 3.5-liter electrified motor. Now, here's some facts for you. It's got a starting price of about $105,000. You can get this color, which is my favorite. It's called Blue Mica 2.0 because obviously 1.0 wasn't good enough, so they changed it up, kept the same name, and well, put a 2 in front of the 1. And the second new color they've added for 2024 is called Copper Crest. Now they do offer a bespoke program where you can get more choice of color combination, different wheels, and more options. It is built in Motomachi plant in Toyota City in Japan. Just for those that want to know that piece of information, I probably totally botched how that's said, but hey, it weighs almost 4,000 pounds no matter how you slice it up, so not that heavy, but it feels very solid behind the wheel. So I'm in the 2024 Lexus LC500. This is not the hybrid version because for 2024, now you can get this thing in a hybrid. This is a gasoline. It's an LC500, which means it is what it says it is, just for the gas. Hear me out. LC500, this has a 5-liter V8 naturally aspirated rear-wheel drive that makes 471 horsepower and 398 pound-feet of torque. However, when they put the hybrid in, it's a little bit of a lie because it's not a 500 anymore. It's more like a 350 because it's a 3.5 liter combined with electric and hybrid. But we won't talk about that. We'll keep it real. It's the LC500, 5-liter V8. I'm gonna put this thing in sport, which is the oddest place to put a button for sport or a knobby for sport. Sport Plus. I won't screw up anything else. I'll just put this thing in drive, make sure everything is all good with my fancy digital display in front of me. Down. Oh, wow. And go. Damn, this thing sounds sick. 5.24 was a horrid start by me. Did you hear that thing? This thing sounds sick. So let's try that again. I won't do any sort of fancy stuff. I will just simply take my foot off the brake and pin this thing to the ground and see what it does. Let's go. Much better. Right, that's quicker too. 4.95. Ooh. But I hear that if you get all the right pieces, you can get this thing to 4.6 or 4.7 seconds. So there must be something that I'm not doing right. Well, honestly, who buys this car to do this? Let's just enjoy it. 4.95, where does that slow with all the other vehicles we've tested? Boom, right smack tied with the Volvo XC90 Recharge. So you can laugh it up that this Lexus has the same acceleration to 60 as a big family SUV, and that is true, laugh it up. But the difference though is that these tires don't like to spin. The stability program and the traction control in this is very, very gentle because they don't want to come across dangerous whatsoever, and that really does restrict the performance of this off the line. Once you get going for the ground, this thing does haul, but up to 60, it's hard. To the front, take a look at these headlights right here. They have a tri-projector design right there, and then a little bit of ziggies. That's kind of the theme of what this design is with this Lexus. A lot of ziggies. Right here you have your DRLs, you have your indicators, or when you put your four-ways on, those light up. You've got a little bit of actual functional vents on the side here, and a big ziggy right here. It's more of a waterfall design. It flows down, you get these small little indentations, and then it opens up right here. It's like two separate designs all flowing into one bumper. This is very Lexus-like. When you see it on the street, you know this is a Lexus. Obviously, you got the Lexus badge, a little front camera there, and chrome that surrounds the grille, because there's more chrome on the car. Take a look at the side. To the side of Lexus's flagship coupe and convertible. Now there's a difference because the convertible and the coupe have different suspension designs. They actually care about who drives the convertible versus who drives the coupe, versus most manufacturers just shove the same suspension in, but not Lexus. On the fronts, you have 21-inch wheels, and they are wrapped with Michelin Pilot Sport S's 5. And take a look at these black brake calipers. They actually brake really, really well when I was on the pedal to the metal. And then you have this chrome around the mirror caps. It's black on the top, painted body color on the bottom, and chrome separating with, of course, a canard there to reduce drag. Now, I do find it interesting that Lexus opted to go black right here. That's very sporty, and I love it. I love the fact it's black here. This color and the black trim is beautiful, along with these wheels and this little inlet right there. I just love that it's functional, it works. The wide body, the hips, all works for me. This design is beautiful. It's just strange why they're still sticking to the chrome. Get rid of this thing and get rid of the chrome in the front. Bye-bye. Next year, I don't want to see it. Anyways, as you move down here, take a look at the size of these wheels. These are 275 wide, 35 deep, and 21 around. I love the look of these wheels. It's a great wheel. I'm happy they used it on this car. As you wrap around here, again, more chrome. The reason why I don't like chrome is because this is very Cadillac-ish. This needs to go. This design is sick. Chrome, not so sick. So let's walk up to the car. This little indentation, that's circular, I push it. This is how the door opens up and unlocks, essentially. Very similar to the Jaguar. I put my hand here, you have the nice Lexus sign there, and I pull it, very easy to open. At this price point, do we have automatic door closers? We do not. But let's look at this convertible top. It takes 15 seconds to open and 16 seconds to close. Look at these taillights. They have this backlit design that has a mirror effect where it's like you're standing in an elevator and you see yourself times 20,000 times. Same sort of vibe with these taillights. I can see the taillights for hours and hours and hours on end. And that is because I have to take my eyes away from all this weird chrome at the top of it. Get rid of that thing. Love the lights though. Dope. Now take a look at this third brake light. They should integrate it a little bit more. Having this like red piece on top, kind of weird in my opinion. You do have a rear camera right there, the Lexus badge, LC500, and then a lot of piano black down here, which is a nice touch. Except for, why are the exhausts really obvious? Just flare those out a little bit. I love the actual tail pipes itself, or the tail design, but the actual exhaust, you know, should be more connected. You know, that connected feeling. Front seat of the Lexus LC500 convertible. Yes, I can touch the sky. Now take a look at the sill, lots of carbon fiber. You do have this enamel portion that has Lexus designed into it. Now, let's close the door. Great materials, very yacht-like, very classy. I love this blue and white mix. It's not an ugly blue. I really do enjoy it with my eyeballs. Now, moving the seat up and down, very easy. I do have lumbar that works well. These seats are very bolstered. There is no leg extension right here in the seat, just simply lumbar up, down, left, and right. I do have 3 memory seat. I do have, of course, putting my windows up right here, but I also have one hidden right there along with the convertible top. So I do like how they've separated. So these 2 buttons are for the front 2 windows, and then if you want to put the convertible top up and down, it happens here, and then you have another window switch here, and that does all the windows in one shot. I love that. I do have a button to open up the trunk, heads-up display, and of course, brightening up my display. Now this display is super cool, very, very sporty. And now for 2024, the big change is this screen. This is a 12.3-inch touch screen with Toyota's newest software. You also have wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. And people are happy that there's no more gimmicky touchpad. It is a touch screen right now. But before I move down and show you the vents, take a look at this design around the front driver's display. They have two little horns sticking out. On the left-hand side, it's a stability program and the ability to get your driving modes into snow. And on the right-hand side, you have Sport, Sport Plus, Normal, Comfort, Eco, all done right here. I was always looking for the drive modes here, which is pretty much where most cars have it, but not Lexus. It's right here, like, what's that cartoon? What's that cartoon, Ian? You know cartoons. That cartoon with that has like that like ogre-looking guy with those two things out of his forehead, out of his temple sticking out. What's that cartoon? And moving down from that 12.3-inch screen, you do have a vent. Now it's interesting that they have three different types or designs of vent. You have these like very basic plasticky ones up here on the left, and on the right that says SRS airbag on that side. And then you have the center one that kind of is geared towards the passenger. It looks like it has this design flaring in that direction. And then on the right of that, where the passenger would sit, you have a button for your glove box, but then you have a thinner version of this vent, and you have two of them. So just kind of different dimensions. It kind of throws my eyes off. But I like how it's wrapped with this sort of stainless sort of piece. It's plastic, but it looks stainless. It looks really, really good. I wish more manufacturers would use this, and I hope Toyota uses more of this material in the future. Then you have the HVAC controls, very easy to use, very classy. This is probably one of the best looking HVAC control units I've seen in vehicles. Everything else is more bulky. This is very smooth, clean, and easy to look at. Then you have the Mark Levingston reference, because this does have the upgraded 13 speaker, fancy, otherwise you get 12 speakers standard. And then in the center console you have very, very clean lines. Love the touch of this material. You do have your shifter, which is exactly the same as from all Toyotas, the design of it. This has a nice solid shifter for me to hold onto. You have your park, and then of course your hold button, which is where your brakes are activated when you come to a stop, so you don't have to hold the brakes down. To the right of that, you do have a little bit of a compartment. Then you have a 360 camera, and then a knob to turn your volume up and down, and a power button right in the center. And then underneath that, I have one singular button that shows the design of heated steering wheel and heated seats. And when I hit that button, I can adjust my ventilated, heated, and heated steering wheel on both driver and passenger. There is no massage. Down from there, I do have that little flappy cover I was talking about with the roof going up and down, and then I simply have another button to slide the center console back. There's more space here, which could hold a cup, which you have this little like apartment building right there holding everything together. But that's not it. There's actually a little handle underneath, and when I lift this up, it exposes a USB, a USB-C, and a cigarette lighter. I love that. It appears like this was the only storage until you find this little latch underneath that opens it all up. That's great, Lexus. Now take a look at the thickness of this seat and the design of this seat, but more importantly, how much room I have behind the seat. Now this is my driving position, how I would normally sit, and take a look how much room I have behind me. I could squeeze in there, but my knees would be at my teeth. However, when I look back, I can see this beautiful Mark Levinson reference subwoofer right there. And take a look at the cool seat belts in the back. They're also in the front. Just plucking my eyebrows, trying to look good for the camera, you know? So the Lexus does come with tweezers, and that is part of the first aid kit that's hidden right in front of your face. And then you have the owner's manual, and then you have a little carrying case if you'd like to store your wind deflector. So this is what you see when you open up the trunk of the Lexus. And the only way to open it up, because it does not have foldable seats inside, is through this button right here. Take a look. I hit this button, and the trunk releases. It's not power, it's manual, and voila, there you have it. So enough of all the techie stuff. I came here to drive, so let's do that. It's that shifting. It's that like, okay, so this is what happens. This is exactly what I'm hearing. It's like, it shifts, and then I hear it after the fact do this clicky, like, shifting, race, jam down my throat sound. That's super exhilarating. Now this is sort of a follow-up car to the LFA, so I kind of get that. I've never actually driven an LFA. I've seen them in person, but I've never actually sat inside one, started them, listened to them, driven them, that kind of stuff. So this is the closest I'm gonna get to it. at least for 2023, unless somebody has one that they want to loan me that I can do a review on. Well, send it my way. But until then, this is what we have. Something that is relatively affordable because it competes against an 8 Series, which are available, a Porsche, which are generally available, and an AMG SL, which I just reviewed. So I can give you my little synopsis about all 3 of those other cars. This one is just different. It's unique. The styling is totally unique. That's what I like about it. It's the styling. Listen to this thing. It sounds sick. And this 10-speed rips. Like, shifts instantaneously. Love it. So let's talk about some other stuff. This steering is nice and light, however, it doesn't feel too light. It does feel like it gives you some decent feedback. Another interesting thing though is that the ride, it's not super bubbly and soft, yet it's very quiet in here, considering obviously it's convertible, but this is not a cheap convertible, so you'd expect that to be pretty insulated. Driving position, good. Blind spots, well, it is a convertible, so you have a typical blind spot in the back. It does have a wind deflector, which really keeps the airflow in here pretty tight. I don't get the wind flowing back, kicking me in the back of the head. That's good in that direction. So remember I was talking about that little back valve there? Well, this is the deal with it. What is it's computer controlled to sort of adjust the perfect amount of back pressure and audible sound to my ear to get that perfect shift. But it's more like the perfect sound to make me enjoy the shift. That's how I explain it. Now, the thing about convertibles that I specifically care about is the tightness in the car and how the cabin feels along with the weight. So when I go over bumps, it doesn't completely shake or rattle my back apart, and then it doesn't also shake the car apart. This is one of the heaviest cars in its class. Now, obviously, you can't compete against a 911. That thing's supposed to be light and able to be like a track-heavy star. This is more of a cruiser, more of a, how do you say, enjoy your money kind of thing, while coasting on the PCH. Not really designed to whip around a track. I mean, look at it and sit inside it. It's designed for luxury. So with all that said, what do I think about it competing against the SL? Because really, that's probably where I would put it against, at least the closest I would think. The Benz is definitely way more complicated to operate. This is very easy, super easy. This feels way more reliable if you're in that demographic of buying cars that are very expensive just to cruise across the country. So that's the first thing. The second thing, if you have a Lexus already, this is going to be an easy sell. If you have a Mercedes, well, you may have had some issues in the service department, and that's where you want to look elsewhere for something more, unique. And this will probably fit the bill for you. But there is some pieces that the Benz does better. I find that the Benz does feel like it's a little bit tighter. This is great, but I do feel like the Benz was like just a little bit tighter. The Benz definitely handled better, but I like the sounds of this better, and I like the, dare I say, uniquely selected design better. Interesting. This is just way simpler to operate. You just get in, you press the button, you put it in gear, and off you go. You don't have to find 400 different drive modes, even though the vehicle itself has 650 different damping sessions. I don't ever say that correctly. Damping. If you know how to say that correctly, just let me know in the comments below, because I always screw that one up. But it has all kinds of tech that it does on its own that I don't have to operate. And that in itself, in today's world, with all the tech that's coming out in cars, it's kind of a breath of fresh air. Breaths of breath air. I screwed that one before as well. But that's my little story on this Lexus, the Lexus LC500. Have a great day. We'll catch you on the next one.